Hello everyone. I'm Alex. I'm head of growth at Isosconnect. Um, I'm just going to double check. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Would it be okay if you guys were able to just make sure that you're on mute? I think there's a tiny bit of feedback. Um, I just want to make sure that that's going to work okay. Let's see. Perfect. Crystal clear. Love it. Karine, thank you so much for inviting me today. I'm Alex. I'm head of growth at Isosconnect. We are a practice management software for solo health practitioners to make their lives easier, spend less time on admin and more time with their clients. I'm going to be showing you around the platform today, kind of the most useful features that practitioners are giving us feedback on, saying that they love. I will also have some more information around how you can take up a trial if there's something that you think you might want to play with a little bit more. I also have a special discount code I can share at the end as well, so you can save a little bit of money if this is something that you want to take forward. One thing to note, I'm just going to see if I can get this here. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. We're on the Whereby platform, which is actually integrated into Isosconnect. So even if you're not an Isosconnect user, surprise, you're here on Isosconnect right now. So to maximize the screen, just as a heads up, you can click on the three dots, which is next to the little screen here, and you can press maximize, and that's going to make it a little bit bigger, just so if you're not sure what I'm showing you, I just want to make sure that everything's crystal clear. I'm probably going to spend kind of maybe half an hour just showing you kind of the main features of the platform and how they work. If there's any questions as we go, there is a chat function, so you're welcome to just pop questions in there, and I'll try and get to them as we go around. But without any further ado, I'm just going to kick off. So I suppose the best place to start with Isosconnect is the way that we handle client records. So anything that you do in Isosconnect, from setting up a session, raising an invoice, it's all going to be attached to a client record. So forgive me, this is my dummy account. There's some very silly names in here, like Batman and Star Trek characters. Sincere apologies for that. But what we'll do is I'll take a look at one of the client records and kind of show you how everything fits together. So here in this client record, we're able to add some kind of basic information that we would expect to be able to record in here around the client's contact details. We also have the ability to make sure that we're capturing the time zone and the location that this client is based in. This is really important if you have a client who is going on holiday and they still want to see you for sessions, or maybe you're going on holiday and you want to continue working. The idea is that anything that gets sent out from the platform in terms of invitations is going to turn up at the right place at the right time, so you don't have that tricky time zone issue that sometimes crops up. It's also worth noting that within Isosconnect, we've tried to make this really customizable because we know that practitioners like to work in different ways. So you can add what we call custom fields. So if there's anything in the client record that isn't out of the box available, but you would like to add, so for example, here, I'm going to go in and I've got some custom fields here for referral source. So that's maybe how I heard about them, where they came from. Maybe I want to store their GP details in here. We have some basic information here around, their emergency contact, but maybe we want to store the name of that contact and the relationship. So out of the box, you can customize this in kind of any way that you would like to. Just going to keep an eye out for questions. Do shout if you see anything and it's unclear. And again, if there's anything that you want more specific details on, I can share my contact details at the end and we can arrange another call. So within Isosconnect, we have the ability to arrange sessions with our clients. These can either be online or face-to-face. We have the option to say which one we would like to do. And Isosconnect does have a video platform built into it and integrated to it called Whereby, which is the tool that we're speaking to you on today. So here in the client record, we can see any upcoming sessions we've arranged with the client. And we also have access to kind of all of the previous ones that we've had with the client too. Within that, when we create a session, we can give it a type. So maybe we offer different types of services, different types of counseling. We're able to specify that and really quickly and easy look back through the record with this client and see what we've done. Notes are super important. I'm going to jump ahead to that slightly. So I find that practitioners like to use these in different ways. Some practitioners will have one long note where they store everything related to this client, or some people prefer to do it on a session by session basis. So I'll just show you what this looks like now, because we do have an inbuilt editor in the platform where you're able to create and store notes digitally. So I would give this just an example title. And then we can pop in anything we want here relates to our session. But on top of that, we have the ability to create our own custom templates. So rather than having to use the same thing over and over, we can call up a template. So an example of that might be if I'm offering an initial consultation, maybe I use the same format for that over and over again. I can call up the template I've built, and it's all going to be pre-populated for me. And I can just pop in whatever I need to, edit whatever I need to, save it, it's all there. From within here as well, Isosconnect has the ability to store any documents or files that you want to upload relating to your client. And these are all really easily accessible from within the note section itself. So you can refer back to anything that you might have uploaded to do with this client and continue making your notes. I'll also show you how the file section looks here. There's another place you can upload everything. So this is where you might, if there's any service agreements or contracts or anything relating to the client. So some people who like to take notes with pen and paper will take photographs of the notes and upload them and store them here. So if that's how you've been doing it previously, that's one way to get started with the system really quickly and make sure everything is attached securely and in one place. We also have the ability to generate invoices from the platform. I can show you what that looks like. It's very straightforward, but effectively you would select the client that you want to generate an invoice for. You can then select a particular session, or you could, if you wanted to, invoice for multiple sessions at once. There's a few different ways you can do that, but let's pretend in this example, I'm going to be doing 4 sessions in May with this client. I would then say that's upcoming. I can pick from the types of sessions that I've got set up in Isosconnect what this might relate to. I'll pop in a date here. That can be anything relating to a session. We can add that. And then here I have a few different options. So I can either bill individually. So I can say maybe I'm doing, let's do the simple maths version. It's late on a Friday. Maybe I'm going to do 4 sessions that were £100. So I could do 401. Or I could say, actually, they're going to be £100 each and I want to invoice for 4. I then mark this one as unpaid because we've not paid it yet. We've not generated the invoice. And here we have a few different options we can specify. So we can say bank transfer, and then that's automatically going to populate the invoice with my bank details that I've added in the back end of the platform. Or we can specify we'd like to get paid another way. If there's something, another system that you already have set up, if you're using Stripe or PayPal or anything like that, you can specify that here and type in the instructions for the client as to how to pay you. Apologies, that is nonsense. I'm trying to do this quickly just to give you guys the best overview possible. We then pick a due date for that. I'm just going to switch that one to bank transfer. Then all we need to do, press save. That's going to save our draft of the invoice. And if I want to send it to the client, all I need to do is press this send by email button. And it's automatically going to generate an invoice and fire it over to the client. And then what I can do to manage my practice is I would keep an eye on my bank account, stay on top of this, and I can manually reconcile these and mark them as paid or unpaid and send reminders as needed. I just want to check, I'm conscious that I'm doing a lot of talking. Is this useful for you guys? Is this kind of what you wanted to see today? Is there anything in particular as I'm going through that you might want to learn more about? Please feel free to pop it in the chat. All cards on the table. This is the 4th demo I've given today. So apologies if I'm rattling through this. I'm a bit of an old hand at this one now.
I think, Alex, I'm enjoying it. I've made 2 notes so far. I already use the platform, and I've made
Perfect.
2 notes already of things that I didn't realize were there. So that's
great. Okay.
I'm one of those that do the handwritten notes.
Yep.
I like to take notes while I'm in session, and then I screenshot that with my device. Yep. And so it's good to know that you can have, I have my screen open on my PC, and I've got my iPad open where I'm referring to the previous notes from the last session. Yep. So you can have 2 of the same thing open at the same time. It's worth noting, which is really helpful too.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think this is one of the things that's helpful for practitioners is what I'm doing now is what we call picture-in-picture mode. So I'm able to see you, and I've also got another window open where I can kind of do stuff and run the demo. So sometimes some of the feedback we get from practitioners is it's not very nice feeling all crammed into one screen, and you might want to work in different ways. And we've tried to build the platform to accommodate that. So We can't force anybody to stop using pen and paper or whatever workflow they currently have. I wouldn't want to, but we do want it to be able to say that you can, when you're done, take a photo, upload whatever you would like to do. Wendy, that is a great question. So Wendy's asking, can we hear more about security, please? What happens if I leave Isosconnect? I have prepared for that question, so I will get onto that. I'm just going to finish up talking about the client record, and then I'm more than happy to discuss a little bit more around our policies for GDPR and security, but that is a very timely and good question. I'm just going to finish this section off. So we've done invoices. The only other thing left at the top of the client record is tasks. So this is really a space for you to organize yourself and remind yourself and make tasks for yourself that are things to do to relate with this client. So an example would be maybe we want to check in with the client on how they're progressing with a mood diary or something like that. So I would just give a little task that says check in on mood diary. The description would be something like ask at the next session. And then that's going to be, apologies, this is my test account. Pretend you haven't seen that. I'm going to do a quick reload. Apologies, there's lots of things in this account that aren't quite ready yet. So in the task section there, I've now got this listed here, check in on the mood diary. So ahead of my session, I can see if there's anything I need to talk to the client about. And then when that's done, all I need to do is just tick that off, and it's going to come off the list, and it's going to show as completed. So you may see here, there's quite a few mood diary entries. That's the example I use each time. Are there any questions on the client record and how that works before I kind of jump on to the very pertinent security question?
I wanted to know, how do you use like an Apple Pencil to integrate with your note taking? How does that work? That work?
I will be honest, Karina, I've not actually been asked that before, so you kind of surprised me on that one. I would need to go away and find out a little bit more on what the output format is of that, but as far as I'm aware, is the question around using Isosconnect on that device, or is it the output of that device and how you would put it into the client record?
Yeah, so I would like to sit with that, with the notes section open with my template there, and I'm writing in directly while I'm speaking with the clients on the session, so that my
Oh, I
notes
see.
are automatically in that window.
I think you are the first person that's ever asked me that. So I'm going to have to go away and find the answer to it. That's a really good question. But it's always lovely to hear how practitioners want to do the platform, prefer to do their work, because that's what we would like to try and build.
Or how do we then use, is there another note-taking kind of situation that you're taking your notes and it's uploading, or is it still a screenshot and then uploading in the file?
Oh, I see. Yeah, so there's two options here. So you can certainly upload the file. The system will take any file that you want to upload and store it, and it'll be available to you. Alternately, if you're using another system, you are able to just kind of copy and paste straight into Isosconnect, and it will largely keep all of the formatting that you've got. I will just say we are releasing a new feature later in the week that is going to improve the accuracy of that pasting to about 99%. So it is certainly possible to move stuff over, but it's a great question. And thank you so much for the one about the Apple Pencil. I love when I hear new things that a practitioner hasn't mentioned before, and I think, yes, great, I'm going to go away and find out the answer to that.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Sorry. Hi, Alex. I just
Hi.
wanted to ask you. Hi, I wanted to ask you another question. When it comes to the tax year and doing our taxes, when it comes to our how much we've invoiced and processed and payments like that, is there anything to actually review all of that and see for purposes of making it easier for us to do our taxes?
That is a great question. So that is something we're currently working on to give you more of an insight in what's happening within the system in terms of balances and financial years and things like that. For now, the way that practitioners are kind of are doing this is so you're able to see all of your invoices that you've sent out in one place. You're able to kind of arrange those by date and also filter them by the client. As it stands, cards on the table, we don't have the ability to filter just by this is in this tax year, this and this tax year. you are able to export everything out and run a filter over the top of it. So for example, if you're using Excel, you can pull it all out into Excel and then sort it in there. But as it stands, there isn't any kind of inbuilt functionality that will give you that in sort of a dashboard that you might be looking for just yet. But I am well aware this is a highly requested feature. So hopefully something along those lines will be coming soon. It's a great question. I hope that was an okay answer.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries at all. I'm just going to jump over and answer Wendy's question around security, because I think that's a really, really good one. So Isosconnect is a GDPR compliant platform. Everything in your account is encrypted. The video call that we're on right now is using what's called end-to-end encryption. And I suppose a useful way to think about this is, as part of joining Isosconnect, we would give you, practitioner, some handouts to share with your clients about how this new system and how it works. And as part of that, we do include information around GDPR and data processing and security. So this is the handout that we kind of supply over email for anybody new that is thinking about taking the platform, just to explain to their clients. And then on the second page here, we do have kind of a summary of the technical aspects around data and GDPR. I suppose the most direct answer to that question is this section here, which is Isosconnect staff, including myself, cannot see any sensitive information that is inside your account. I personally don't have the ability to access anything that is in your account. So if you're having trouble and we're doing customer support, which you're able to do through the platform, I would just note that in the corner here, there's a little chat box, and you can send us a message. And it's me on the other end of that if you ever have any problems. So we can certainly help you that way. But I personally have no way to access your account to see what is in there. Our engineering team, if in the unlikely event something goes wrong with your account and they need to have a look under the hood as to what's going on, everything is blurred on their screen. They can just see the basic raw information. They can't, for example, see the equivalent of this. There's no way for them to see anything like that. I'm more than happy if anybody has any questions around this, you can pop me an email. I'll be sharing my email address at the end if you have any kind of follow-ups around anything you've heard today, and I can go away and find somebody more technical that can give you a fuller answer on that. But from my perspective, yes, we are a GDPR compliant platform. I would just also add, just on that finally, the second part of that question. So if you decide that you don't want to use this platform anymore, what happens next? So we do have a number of paid plans, but if you decide that this is something that you don't want anymore, or maybe you're retiring early, you do have the ability to export everything out of the platform. In each section, you'll see this big export button. So you have the ability to take everything out, which includes invoices. On the clients, you can grab all of the notes as well for each client too. So you can take anything out that you're not comfortable having in there anymore. Additionally, you are able to downgrade to a free plan. So the free plan basically will put your account into storage mode, and we will keep hold of your records for a minimum of 7 years. So if ever, for whatever reason, you need to pull them again, it will all be there stored securely, but there's no charge associated with that. We will just pop it into a storage mode. I do see a raised hand. Is there a question for me? Oh, Rosamond, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if you're muted. Apologies.
Yes, I was muted.
Hello.
You can hear me now. Hello.
I can.
I don't know how I got muted. That's okay.
No trouble.
So I was just thinking in terms of the operating system, you know, on a day-to-day basis, if you have, if you experience glitches with the system, what happens? What sort of support is there to help you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So thankfully, the glitches are very rare, but as with all technology, sometimes things happen that we can't quite explain. So the quickest way to get in touch with us, with the team, as I say, is this chat function. So at the top here,
Okay.
it will always give you kind of a live overview of how long you might expect to hear back from a team member. So currently it's 3 minutes in working hours, which is pretty good. We also supply an email address where you can get in touch with us at any time.
Okay.
And if anybody has any kind of deeper, more specific problems, I'm always happy to jump on a call and try to advise as best I can without seeing what's inside the account to maintain privacy. Corinne, are you able to speak to this? Have you, as an Isosconnect user, how have you found getting in touch with us?
It's been absolutely fine. I've always used the little chat bubble, and I've had a reply fairly fast. And what's also really nice is that it's if someone has replied, so you can minimize it while you're working. So it's just that little bubble, and then it'll have a little one notice will pop up if a message has been responded to. I can't say that I've had any major glitches at this stage. I think probably been using the system probably about 9 months now. And I started obviously graduating one after the other to each phase of the options. I'm struggling to recall if I've ever had. The only difficulty I've ever had, which is absolutely not platform related, was I had one client who wanted to sort of hold the phone to her ear as if it was a telephone call. And she was like, oh, I can't do that. But I mean, that was one client out of I don't know how many sessions that I've done. And that's all really.
Well, that's great to hear. I realise I took a massive risk then by inviting you to give your candid feedback, and you may well have said, "Oh, they're awful." But no, I'm glad that you've had a great experience. Thank you, Rosamond. Was there anything else that I can help with on that question?
Just one more.
Sure.
With the free options, what's in the free option?
Yeah.
Or are you
so
going to be coming to that later?
I can yes, I can definitely give you an overview of the different plans, and I'll certainly mention what's in there. But thank you. That's a great question. I'm conscious of time, so I'm just going to maybe go through the process of what booking a session looks like, and how that looks and feels for the client as well, because within this there is also a client experience. So once you've kind of configured Isosconnect in the way that you would like, and we do give a fair amount of help on that when you're first getting your account set up. So there's lots of videos that we will send you where you can follow along with me as I set up the account. And again, as I say, if you run into any problems, you're able to kind of speak to us directly through the website or to book a call. But the process of setting up a session is pretty straightforward. So I'm here in my Isosconnect calendar, which looks a little bare. It's my test account. And this is where you can kind of manage your day-to-day. So you also have the ability to synchronize and import any other calendars that you're already using. So maybe you have a personal one that you want to see reflected in here. So this is why we're seeing walk the dog. I put that in my test account as a reminder. But let's imagine that we kind of wanted to set up a session for next week. So all I would do is find a slot that I want to book in the client for. I would click on that. And then we have the session creation screen here. So I can pick from the types that I've set up. You can set up as many different types as you like for different types of therapy that you might offer. My test one is just called regular online session, so we'll go with that. We would then select the client that we want to invite to this session. We have 2 paid plans. So on the premium plan, you are able to do group sessions where you can add multiple attendees, which is the kind of session that we're on today. And on the specialist plan, it's one-to-one. So let's imagine we're just doing a one-to-one session. So I would select the client that I want to invite to the session. I then have the option to set this to be a recurring session for a certain period of time, weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. But in this instance, I'm just going to do a one-off. We then have a few different options here. So by default, the system is going to assume that I'm going to create an online session. But if I want to see them face-to-face, all I have to do is tick the face-to-face appointment button. And then the session invite and the confirmation that gets sent out to the client is going to contain my practice address or where I want to meet them in person. But if not, we would just leave that blank and we can do an online session. You also have the ability to, on a session basis, suppress SMS reminders. The reason for this is it was a highly requested feature because we do have some practitioners who are dealing with clients who are in potentially a domestic violence situation and they don't want things going off on a phone. So we took that feedback on board and included that. So you do have the ability to just switch that off and stop that from happening. In the forms section here, we have the ability to attach any files or documents that we want the client to complete. And you can do that through selecting that here. I uploaded those in the back end of Isosconnect and they're all available. And finally, the last option is to collect a prepayment. So I would say probably about 40 to 50% of practitioners using Isosconnect are actually using this feature, which is really great. Isosconnect will integrate with a third-party payment provider called Stripe, who are a very big, well-known company. We actually use them as our payment provider at Isosconnect, so I'm very well versed with Stripe. You can go and create a free account on stripe.com, and you can integrate that into Isosconnect. The only thing to bear in mind is that there is a fee associated with that from Stripe. I believe it's 1.5% is what they take from each payment. But were you to do that, you can then integrate that into Isosconnect and then collect prepayments for your sessions. So what that's going to do, if I tick this button, I can set the amount, and when it sends over the session confirmation email, which I'll show you in a second, it's also going to include a link for the client to go and pay. And they can just pay from their phone using Apple Pay or put in a credit card, and then that's going to come back into your Stripe account once they've paid that. And you'll be able to see that reflected on Isosconnect too. So I'm just going to save this session. And then that's going to then appear in my calendar here. You'll see there's a little dot next to it. Because I've requested a prepayment, I'm able to see if that's been paid or not yet in Isosconnect. When the client pays, that's actually going to turn green. So ahead of the session, I'll be able to look at it and go, oh, they've paid, cool. Or I'll join the session and be able to remind them, hey, I sent you a prepayment link. Would you mind just filling that in? So I'm now just going to jump and show you what the client would see now we've set up this session. So they are automatically going to receive a session reminder email. Within this email, you can specify a photo or a logo that you might want to use. And it's going to contain all the basic information that the client needs to be able to join this session. So here we have the appointment link, and all the client needs to do is just press that link. There's nothing for them to download. It will just join the call at their allotted time. Here we can see that we've requested a prepayment. So again, it's generated a prepayment link. I can just click on that and show you what it looks like. There we go, that's it. So they would just pop in the email address and put in their payment details. If they're on a phone, they can just do it with Apple Pay, easy peasy. We have your contact details, so if they need to get in touch with you if something goes wrong. And then also you're able to specify your cancellation and your payment method, if there's something else that you would like to get paid by. So in this example, I've assumed a practitioner might be using PayPal. So here they can put in information around how to pay for their session, when it's expected. The cancellation policy, you can definitely customize this. You can pop in whatever you'd like. And one thing I would say at Isosconnect, we love client reminders. That's probably the most requested feature in the platform. I'm just going to very quickly show you the types of reminders we send and how frequently we send them. So I'm just, apologies, jumping around the account here. I recommend leaving all of these turned on. Some people like to fine tune it a little bit, but by default, the platform is going to email the client when we set up the session to send them a confirmation. And they're also going to be receiving reminders 48 hours before the session, 24 hours before the session, and 2 hours before the session. Now, that may sound a lot, but I'm thinking back on the feedback I've had from practitioners around getting people to actually show up and no shows and all the excuses in the world that sometimes come out. You do have the ability to turn these on and off if you think, well, maybe 3 is a bit much. That's absolutely fine. On the premium plan, which I'll show you shortly, the differences between the plans, we also have the ability to send SMS reminders to the client too. So you would pop in their mobile number, and that's also going to send them reminders as well. So potentially a client session could have up to 7 reminders if that's what you wanted. So there's no chance they're going to be able to say, oh, I didn't realize we were meeting. And one final thing I just wanted to touch on that is within each session, I can look at a past one that I've set up and scroll down here, and I can see the communication log. So this is where I can double check and see, okay, the confirmation email was actually delivered to the client. I know that they've got it. The 24-hour reminder, that definitely went out to the client. I know they've got it. So just a useful sense check if you have people who are saying, I didn't receive the thing. If it says delivered, it absolutely 100% made it to their inbox. And we put a lot of work in trying to ensure that these types of reminders that get sent never end up in the spam or the junk folder. It's really important to us that your clients are able to meet you easily. And all of these emails will include a link to join the session. All they have to do is just press one button and off they go. Are there any questions on anything that we've seen so far? Feel free to pop them in the chat if there's anything that jumps out to you. I am conscious of time. There's one more feature that I want to show you before we jump off today, and that is the online booking system. Now, not every practitioner is comfortable with this, but many increasingly are, especially for if you would like to offer discovery calls to clients. So for new client inquiries, the ability to let people see open slots in your calendar and book into it is something that we are seeing more and more, especially because the point at which a new client is in most need and is making the step to decide that they want to take therapy, them being able to facilitate that and get it booked in quickly is really important. So on the premium plan, you do have the ability to configure what we call a booking link. So I can show you what that looks like very quickly. What I've done in Isosconnect is I have gone into the back end, into booking preferences, and I'm able to set up my working hours, particular days that I might want to be bookable or available. And then I've set up the different services that I offer and assigned prices to them. So the most popular one is kind of offering a free introductory call. I think most practitioners are using that. You can add some clever conditions to make sure that nobody can book in with 20 minutes notice. So you can say, I actually want a gap of half an hour between anything that's already in my calendar and what this new thing is going to be. I don't want them to be able to schedule today, maybe only make slots available from tomorrow. You also have the ability to just switch this on and off. So if you're going on holiday and you're like, I don't want to think about this, I'm off the clock for a week, you can just switch the whole thing off and switch it back on when you come back. But what the booking system is going to do is it's going to take into account the rules that we set here, and it's also going to take into account what we already have in our diary. So there's no chance of ever being double booked, especially if you're syncing from your personal calendar too. So the only slots that are ever going to be available are based on the rules that you set in Isosconnect. How that looks for the client. So you are able to generate, bear with me, I'm a little lost here. There we go. So I would go into public profile and copy this link, and it's going to look like this. So you basically have a page that just gives some information about you, and you can pop in whatever you would like here around how to book, when you're available, your qualifications, etc. People are linking this from their website or maybe on social media or in their email signature. And all the potential client has to do is click book an appointment. You'll see here the different services that I've set up in the back end of Isosconnect. But maybe you just want to have free introductory call. And then the client is then going to be able to see the slots that you are available based on the rules that you've set. What then happens is they book in, and you receive an email notification saying that you have a new booking. you'll be able to retrieve that in your bookings tab here. So you're able to review what the booking is. So I can see that on this booking, somebody's given me some extra information about the problem they're having. It's automatically going to have gone into my Isosconnect calendar as a session that I'm able to join. But maybe I review this and I think I might not be the right fit practitioner for this, or I've done something wrong and I wasn't supposed to be available here to be able to be booked. All you would need to do, there's this is just a demo example, but were I to decide I don't want to continue with this booking, I would just press cancel the session, and that's going to send a really polite, lovely, nicely worded email out to the person who's booked to say, I'm really sorry, I'm not actually available at this time. Something's gone wrong. Please, send me an email if you want more information or to rearrange. So we kind of take care of all of that for you. But imagining that you were happy with that inquiry and it's gone straight into your calendar, all you would need to do to join the session on the day is you can go to your sessions tab. It's going to show up here. We press the join button and it's going to load up the call. Or alternately, you can see it in your diary, open it up, and just press the little play button down here, and that's going to open the call as well. So there's a few different ways you can do it. I think I've shown you just about everything that I can. I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, bear with me. Price for joining. Yes, I can absolutely talk about that. So we offer a 14-day free trial of Isosconnect. You can just go on our website, start a free trial whenever you're ready. There's no card details, and that's going to give you access to the premium plan. In terms of the different tiers that I mentioned, so the two paid plans that we have are Specialist and Premium. So Specialist is $15.99 a month. There's no contracts. You can upgrade, downgrade. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. But we do have the 14-day trial where you can kind of play with the whole platform if you'd like to. And the Specialist plan will be good if you're doing one-to-one video calls, so if you're not doing any group or couples work. And it also includes everything I've kind of shown you today in terms of email communications and reminders and things like that. You can store and upload documents. And then at the higher end, we have the premium plan, which is $34.99 a month. That includes the online booking page that I've shown you just now, the ability to run group calls with more than 2 attendees, and then also the kind of SMS confirmations and things like that too. I would just say I am able to offer you a special code. So if you decide this is something you would like to go ahead with, after your free trial, you can enter the code discount30 in the checkout, and that's going to give you a 30% lifetime discount on any paid monthly plan. So that means that the Specialist plan, rather than $15.99 a month, it's going to go down to $11.19, and Premium will go down to $24.49. If you have any questions, or you forget this, or you forget to write it down, you can send me a message, and I'm happy to get that all sorted out for you. So I think, yeah, we're really pleased to be able to run this offer. I know that kind of a Zoom subscription, you're looking at maybe 120 quid a year, and then all the other bits on top of that. So I think we've tried to make it as cost efficient as possible, and I'm really pleased to be able to kind of offer this for you guys today. Finally, I just want to say, if you have any questions, you can visit isosconnect.com, start a trial, have a play with it. There's no card required. Or if you want a more tailored demo, you can book a call with me. Again, just go to isosconnect.com, and there's a big book a call button at the top, and that lets you find time in my diary. Alternately, if there's something super specific that you just want a very fast answer to, you can just ping me an email. I'm alex@isosconnect.com. I think that's everything. I've done a lot of talking. I really hope this was useful, guys.
Alex, that was wonderful, and thank you so much for bringing us a discount. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I wanted to say as well, so on the calendar function, for those of you that are working on BetterHelp as well, where you've got your or any other platform really where you've already got another schedule happening, right? So I've connected my Apple Calendar, and then when I get a BetterHelp client booked in, then I just reference their BetterHelp clients. And so that's how I populate my diary, and I'm able to have those gaps in between that I'm booking that allows my automatic booking system from my website. It doesn't double book over those spaces. Those time slots that are populated in the calendar actually blank out. So people can't just book a discovery call with you over that time. So that's the way I like to work with it, and I find that it works really well.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. As I say, if there's any questions, feel free to ping me an email, alex@isosconnect.com. I will let you crack on, and I believe we're going to talk about supervision next. I'm not a practitioner, so I'm going to cover my ears and disappear, but I just want to say thank you guys so much. It's been really lovely to meet you, and as I say, if there's any questions, please do ping me, and Corinne, thank you again for inviting me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us, Alex. It was lovely.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend,
Thank you
everyone.
so much.